I am going to deviate from what I normally do in this year.
Different volume?
What?
A different volume?
No, I'm going to explain something which I discussed a different time. I discussed when do you say the Haneiros Halalu. You recall that 2 weeks ago I discussed, do you say Haneiros Halalu after you light the first candle, or do you say Haneiros Halalu after you light all the candles? That was the subject which I discussed, and I would like to tell you some research on this subject, which is a fascinating subject, and I'm right now reading from a Bach in Sinan Tov Reish Ayin Vov. Hamadlik achar sheyadlik. He says he's supposed to say Haneiros Halalu. Halashon mashma she'oymar came koidim she'yivorach she'osa nisim. You say Haneiros Halalu before you say she'osa nisim, right? So I said we'll find it for you, right? V'chein kosav b'marish.
It's not the tool.
Okay. U'mashma mesechtes seifrim. U'bagoyis maimini perigimel halacha dalid. All of them say that Haneiros Halalu are said before you make the bracha she'osa nisim. Miu b'tshuvas Maharil says she'ein lanu el tamuda didon dekol habracha tzarich lios over la'asiyason kamo she'osim b'kriyas ha'megillah tilas lulav v'ikol ha'meimah de'v'seches samik man diyomer de'mevorach b'shas asiyason. And we'll say that the Yeshalmi and the Masechta Seifrim are going according to the Mandiyam that says you make a bracha while you do the mitzvah. V'su de'ein zeh minik pashut l'amro v'heich nafsik b'tofol lebein ha'ikar. And how could you be mafsik in doing something which is secondary when you're supposed to be involved in doing something which is more important? L'chayra, what he means to say is lighting the other candles is more important than saying Haneiros Halalu. I think that's the question that everybody would ask, right? So this is what the Bach says. But the question is, what is the reason why you should say Haneiros Halalu at this time? Why? In other words, he says we have better ways to do it. There's other things that should come first. But he doesn't argue with the concept that Haneiros Halalu should be over there. All right. Okay, I'm going to start with a question which I think that I mentioned this last week, and I would like to discuss this question at this point. Tonight, we lit 7 candles. Did we light 1 and 6, or did we light 7? You did 1 for the mitzvah and 6 for the hitter. Or did we light 7? Shimon, what do you think?
I think the first one, 1 and 6, because the mitzvah deraisa is to just light one candle.
The mitzvah derabanan, there's no mitzvah deraisa over here altogether.
Well, I mean, sorry.
The ikar mitzvah.
The ikar is to light 1.
Okay.
Then the headwind is to light the extra ones.
Okay. I'm not sure I even understand what you said, but I think that's what you said is more or less the pashtus. But I don't think that's the accepted pshat. I think, I'm going to ask you a question. You have mahadrim and a mahadrin that everybody in the house lights their own, right? Who's the mahadrim and a mahadrin?
Everyone. The householder.
Everyone's supposed to light. According to the Ashkenazi custom, according to the Ramah, that everybody lights Mahadrim and Mahadrim.
Yeah, everybody lights. So then, the balabas is doing it the best way possible.
But if all the children...
Did you hear what I just said? Then if I have all my kids light, so I'm being Mekayim the mitzvah the best way possible.
You're having all your b'nei
Right. So what is the mahadrim minimum? When you say is it that everybody lights, and by everybody lighting, so everybody's doing a mahadrim and a mahadrin, or is there a group there's a group effort, that the group had everybody in the group light, so then the group did Mahadrim and a Mahadrim. You understand? Two totally different concepts.
Yeah. Definitely did not understand it that way until,
No, I don't know if you understand this, but you understand the possibility.
yeah.
The Balabais is Dafka lighting not for his family.
Right.
That only for himself.
And
for
he's
me.
having his family light by themselves.
Right.
So
everyone.
Or
If he lit for everyone.
now since he divided up his family, that everybody should do it. So he's doing the Mahadrim and a Mahadrim. Just like the Mahadrim, he's lighting Kefid and Nefashos, right? But who's lighting in the Mahadrim? The Baal Bos is lighting.
Yeah.
But he's lighting for each one. So maybe in the Mahadrim and a Mahadrim, I am doing for my family the best way by having each one light it. You don't get the tzad?
No, I don't get too started.
Okay. There's one tzad that have everybody light, and everybody lighting, that is Mahadrim and a Mahadrim. But Be'etzem, the Balabas didn't do anything different than he would have by himself. So he's not being Mekayim Mahadrim and a Mahadrim. Maybe his kids are, but he's not. How is he doing Mahadrim and a Mahadrim? You understand the question?
It's permitting everyone. It's permitting is more Mahadrim than the Mahadrim. Because the Mahadrim, he's doing it.
Yeah, and now,
For everyone in the
now
he's removing that. I'm not doing it for everybody.
Who said Mahadrim is on him? The Chiv's on the house. So the Mahadrim is on the house.
okay, fine.
Okay, but still the house is doing the group.
So even if you're right, and all of these things come back to the same point. If you're allowing all the kids in your family to do it, so then you're doing Mahadrim and a Mahadrim. How do I do Mahadrim and a Mahadrim? By having everybody light.
It doesn't exclude them from being Mahadrim as well.
No, I didn't say that. Maybe because they're part of your family. Nobody is going to change the fact that there's only one candle for the house. That is going to be Niskayim also. And when everybody lights, so everybody, this is the group idea. The whole group is doing Mahadrim and a Mahadrim. Right? So even the father, the Balabas, he's Mahadrim and a Mahadrim because he's having the other people light. He's not stepping out and having them do their own mitzvah. Right, it's a group effort. This is a fascinating idea. This is not, well, when I say this is probably not the accepted understanding of Mahadrim and Mahadrim, but I think it's a fascinating idea. Do you understand what we're talking about? Okay, if you have to allow your children to light in order to be Mahadrim and a Mahadrim, so then they are part of your entourage. So you are doing it Mahadrim and a Mahadrim.
So if Friday night I have all my kids make their own kiddush instead of doing Yotzei. Is that Mahadrim and a Mahadrim?
No, because there's no
Mahadrim
Indian.
by
And no, it's a chesaron.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay, so why by this is it a Mahadrim to do it on there? It's not.
Oh, so that's a fascinating question, but it's not. That has to do with the Inyan of Haneiros Chanukah to have more candles, according to some. It's a good question. Why B'chlal should there be such a Mahadrim?
Rovam is usually the cloud.
So you have a question on Chanukah be'etzem, and the answer is there's an idea of having extra candles. That's the start point. But anyways, so by you allowing everybody to do it, so then you have facilitated that everybody light, so that you're part of that happening. You're part of that happening. You understand?
So everyone's Mahadrim.
Yeah, everybody's Mahadrim. Okay?
What's the other side?
What? And the other side is that now it broke up, and having each person light, each person is a Mahadrim and a Mahadrim. That's the Pashup shot. That's what you thought before you walked into this year. Okay? So now, just like there's such a question in Mahadrim and a Mahadrim, so there's a question also, we discussed last week, I think it was, that the person has to light Mishum Chshad on the 7th day, he has to light 14 candles. So we said that there are those who say that the obligation is that he has to light today 14 candles. right? You remember, Shimon, that we discussed that? Okay, so now if the possibility is, and this seems to you, Rabbi Kiva Eger goes with this, the Pri Megadim goes with this, the Mishnah Berurah seems in one place to go with this idea, that on the seventh day, when you light 7 candles, that's your hadlaka. And the proof of this is, there's a question from Lezer Moshe Horowitz. This is a fascinating question. Avishai, this question is for you because you're not going to have an answer. But it's a question that you would ask. The halacha is that if you light in a candle that has a whole bunch of lights around it, you're not yaitzer, because it looks like a madura, right? Okay, so let's say when you light 4 in the same place, then it already looks like a madura. Okay? But you lit the first one, you were okay. The second one, you were okay. Let's say at the third one or the fourth one, then it became a madura. So why is that worse than kafsa zakukla and a zakukla? You lit the first one, and now when you do something that makes it look like a madura, it's like it's kafsa.
You ruined it.
So you ruined it. So it's like you turned it off, and you were yaitz already. This is a question she'ein alav tshuva. This is a fascinating question.
If your kavanah is to light those from the start,
It doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. The only reason that would make a difference is if you say that you're lighting 7. If you're lighting 1 and then 6, so your 1 should still be there. If you're lighting 7, so then until you lit all 7, you didn't light anything. You understand what I just said?
He's doing it because of Kashab.
Or now, I'm not in the Chashad right now. Today's the 7th night. So if I am lighting, not 6 and 1 today, I'm lighting 7. So if before you get to 7 you have a Madura, you didn't light anything. If you're lighting 6 and 1,
And the first one you already has.
right? And now, so your hitter turned into Madura. Was a kashor to my ikar light. My ikar light should be just like I turned it off. Okay, this is a question of Lezer Moshe Horowitz asks, and this is Shlomo Zalman's answer to this question. He says you have to light 7. So if you're lighting 7, so then until you have 7, you have nothing. So then nothing happened. So you have a madur before you were makayim anything, and therefore you're not yaitzer. Okay. So now, once we understand that we have 7 candles, we can go right now to read a Mishnah Berurah. I'm going to read a Mishnah Berurah, and this Mishnah Berurah is a Chiddush Otzum. Everybody knows this Mishnah Berurah, but I don't think people recognize the significance of this Mishnah Berurah. Tov Resh Ayin Aleph. Here in Sif Hey, Tzarech ner acher l'shamash la'oiro. You need another candle to be meshamash la'oiro. The shamash, you need a shamash. Pirish Rashi, mishum hekera. Ritzoyno leimar, shafilu im lo yirtza klal l'shtamash la'oiro. You're not planning on using your menorah for anything. Mikol mokom tzarech ner acher she'yeh hayecholis biyoder l'shtamash la'oiro. You have to create a possibility to have an alternative than using the Ner Chanukah for light by making a shamash. Vayedei zeh minkar she'ner rishon hu l'shem mitzvah. By doing so, it creates the effect that the first one was for the mitzvah's Chanukah. Okay?
the first one meaning the others besides
Yes.
not just that.
Di'ilav hochi kivan she'omer al shulchan, since it's sitting on the table, yamru shalatzorcha edlika. Okay? V'nir davka b'minich al shulchano. All this is talking about when you're lighting on a table. Aval mi sheminiach samuch lapesach, a person who lights outside samuch lapesach, ein tzorch l'ner acheres, afal pi she'omer lo yisham. Why? Hoyel ve'einu bo l'shtamish la'oira is a tashmish. You don't do anything next to your door. You're not planning on using your
You'll see where the steps are. to go.
Okay, well, he didn't have that problem. That's not nothing to do with what he's doing. You have a question on his understanding,
Yeah.
but not on what he's saying. Okay, na minig ha'olam v'chenig rabbeinu de bechol ner Chanukah hamudlekes v'soich habayis tzarich ner acheres afilu lo hayatzarich letashmish. You're not planning to do anything. You're lighting in the bedroom that you're not walking into there at all. You still have a shamash over there. Shelo yomru de letzarcho hidlika. So people shouldn't say that you were madlik what letzarcho. The ner Chanukah. So I have to have an extra candle in order so that I have the opportunity to use the extra candle for my light, and therefore al korchach, the other candles are just for the mitzvah. We're going to see this as a machlokes. V'chein ani oiglu ma'isa. That's what I do. V'chein kasav ha'meiri. And then, if you turn the page, he says, Da'afilu mi she'ein lo ela ner echad. You only have one candle, and you don't have a shamis. Mikol mokom yadlik es haner v'yevorach alav. There's a havamina that a person who doesn't have a shamis should not make a bracha on their Chanukah. And b'chol zot he says you should make a bracha. Okay, so now what we just said is a fascinating thing. I always thought, and we'll see right now. Maybe we'll do this inside. This is a fascinating thing I'm going to show right now. What the pshat is in the shamash. Very big machlokes. Okay. Mosifim ner acher she'en yishtamish la'oira yeh shimush la'or oisa haner. Okay. Shaila la'ochi Rabbeinu Yechiel. Neiros Chanukah shemadlikim echad yeser Bistam l'shamish, you lit an extra candle on the seventh day. You lit 8 candles, so the one should be a shamish. V'loi pirish eze mehem, yochol achakach levar eze sheyirtze li a shamish, afilo rishon or emtza or davka acharon. Can I choose after I lit which one I'll make it into the shamish? Okay, so he says as follows. You lose the achron, v'hochi mistaver. Why is that mistaver that the achron is the shamish? Ner Chanukah ein lahafsik bahem. You should make a hafsik, and then we already had this idea. And in the middle of your day, as Chanukah, you shouldn't be doing other things like saying Haneiros Halalu, possibly, right? By lighting a shamish in the middle, you shouldn't be doing that. Ein lahafsik bahem. Hilchos ha'achron yeh shaloi l'shem ner Chanukah. And then I'm reading the next line, which this next line there's much to do about. Ve'ein shem shamish olav, and that extra candle is not called a shamish. Ki hashamish hu hamadlik boy haneiros. The shamish is the one that you lit the candles with, not the one that you have there to be mishtamish la'oira. Now the question is, who cares? Why did we discuss? Who asked it? What's the subject? Okay. Now there's all kinds of answers to this question. Okay. All right. We'll leave the Pirush to this for a second. Okay. But now we have given a little bit of an explanation to what the shamash is. Now the shamash could be for one of 2 purposes. One is to light the candles with. Otherwise, we had the opportunity to say that if you're going to use a candle, you should be able to say that that's the candle that you're using, right? Or as the Mishnah Berurah said from Rashi, that you could think that all of the candles you lit litzorchoi, and by taking one and making it as a shamish, so then we have said that the other ones are not letzorcha. So we have already a few different pshatim in the Rishonim of what a shamash is. This is a fascinating, right? Fascinating idea. What is the shamash?
The first option is only shaykh if you're lighting with wax candles, isn't it?
Why?
How can you take an oil light and use it to light another oil?
I've seen it done all the time. Yeah, they have it on it comes on that stem that comes out of the menorah, the shamash, and they put it to the candle.
That's why it comes out.
No, but I'm saying I've seen people do it.
At night with that.
Yeah.
Without pouring oil.
Now, in the olden times, when I was younger, and they used to have Rishona menorahs. You know what Rishona menorahs are? There's a Chabadska menorah, a Rishona menorah, and there's a Litvisha menorah. The three different kinds. The Chabadska menorah are the ones that, and it's not the way the menorah was. Now, a Rishona menorah is a row with a back, and has a place for the shamash on the top. Now, those, many of them, they have like these, they look like cups, they're like this, and there's a place on the end where the wick sticks out, and you light the wick in the air. You don't light the wick over the cup, over the cup of oil, you light it on the side. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So, and those is very easy. You take the candle and you just go underneath them all and you light them. Okay, so that's yeah. All right. Now, that was, I think, in most places that was very common. This thing with the back, a menorah with the back. Okay. Now I would like to go to another subject, and this is going to be connected in a minute when we get finished over here. In Tafresh Ayin Beis, this halacha discusses when is it that a person is supposed to light. So you're supposed to light from as soon as you can for a half hour, right? That's when you're supposed to light. Shakach o hazid v'lo hidlik im shkias hachama madlik v'hoylech ad shechala regel min hashuk shuk kamo chatzi shah. You have a half hour window to light in that time. Sha'az ha'am oivrim v'shavim v'ikar pesumei nisa. Hilchos. Now here is the other half. This is a Gemara. Tzach litem bo shemen kezeh hashir. When you lit originally, you have to put in oil for achechal regel min hashuk, and achechal regel min hashuk is a half hour, so you have to put in oil for a half hour. Okay. Vim nasam ba yaiser yachol chaboy sacher shavar zazman. If you put in more than a half hour, you could push out the candle after this time. V'chein yachol l'shtamish l'oira acher zazman. You're allowed to even shtamish because it's not a Hanukkah candle anymore because the time is over. It's like the next morning. Continues the Machaber. Miu hani mili lechatchila. Aval im ovar zehazman v'lo hidlik madlik v'hoylech kol halayla. You light the whole night. V'im ovar kol halayla v'lo hidlik, and if the whole night passed and you didn't light, ein lo tashlumim. Okay. So says the Mishnah Berurah. Okay. Kol halayla yud aleph ad amud hashachar. You're allowed to light until amud hashachar. Ubi brocha, and you do it with a brocha. V'hainu dafka b'nei bayis neirim avon yeshtem ein levorach aleim elamadlik b'loy brocha. Okay, the commode lididu ayachal.
When is that?
If there's nobody around, everybody's sleeping. Okay, now the Beis Yosef himself seems to be mashma that you always light with a bracha. This is even if there's nobody there. Just like if you be lighting at the right time if there's nobody there. Okay, so the question is why. No, to explain the question of why, I first have to explain why the question, it was a question. We have a klal, sabal, sofik, brachas, lukula. Whenever you have a shaila and about making a bracha, skip it. That's the halacha. Okay. What?
Apart from tefillin.
What about tefillin?
Tefillin
The second
shamash.
bracha, I told you.
Yeah.
Make a bracha, just say it anyway.
So we make a bracha and then we say Moshe.
Who makes the second bracha?
Yeah. Many people don't.
They just don't make that second bracha.
Right. Many people don't. Not only
I
Chabadskis.
know.
Many Litvaks don't make it. But I make the bracha. I make that bracha and I say Baruch Shem.
The Rav says Moshe.
Yes, I do that.
So what's confused?
Okay. So the answer to the question is that your question is not exactly correct. If a person would not be able to say Baruch Shem, would he say the Al Mitzvahs Tefillin? We paskin that you say Al Mitzvahs Tefillin. The end. And just because there are those that say that maybe you shouldn't have said it, so we say Baruch Shem. But the psak that you follow is that you say Al Mitzvahs Tefillin. And that's not optional. It's not a suffix, you say B'teres Vadai. But just because there's a tzad, maybe not to do it, so you say Baruch Shem. This is just like saying a Shechianu by Tkiyah Shofar or by Kiddush the second night of Rosh Hashanah. What do you do if you don't have a new fruit?
Just didn't say it.
So why do you have a new fruit?
Because there's something if you need to say it and it's like
But what is the psak?
it's like you should say it.
So what do you need the new fruit for?
Because it's like almost kind of hidden bracha, for want of a better expression. Because it's then you definitely...
What? What do you say?
זה יותר טוב.
Well, למה זה יותר טוב?
זה שהלוכה שזה בלי, זה יותר טוב, זה פותר את הסופק, אבל זה שהלוכה אתה צריך להגיד. אבל עדיף
Okay,
להגיד.
okay.
שנביא
זה אותו דבר פה. אותו דבר פה. That really, you should not, the halacha is that you have to make the shechianu. But if you could avoid having a shaila, so you take a new fruit. But if you wouldn't have the new fruit, you would make a shechianu. And the same thing by your tefillin. You would make a mitzvah tefillin on your tefillin sharash. And if you didn't say Baruch Shem, it's okay because you did what you're supposed to do. If you could say the Baruch Shem and that could somehow rectify, then that's better. But just on the subject, since I don't believe that we're going to ever learn Hilchos Tefillin here, I don't know when we'll ever get to that point, the other Hilchos Tefillin, Baruch Shem does not take off a bracha levatala. It's a mistake. I'll explain to you what it does. A person who makes a bracha levatala makes a chil Hashem, and saying Baruch Shem makes a kiddush Hashem. So you cancel out an ill effect of that which you did, but you're not. It doesn't take away that which you did.
How's it Chil Hashem and Kiddush Hashem if no one's around to hear you?
Because the things are ba'etzem.
Either part.
The things are ba'etzem. It's not the kil Hashem does not depend on what people say. It's what it is. Anyways, that's the answer to the question.
What would the shechianu again if you don't have a new fruit?
So you just without a
You
new
make
fruit.
shechianu, why don't you say Baruch Shem after the shechianu when you have a new fruit? Who don't it the same thing?
All I can tell you is that it's a hefsek.
What is it, milk kiddush?
You're in the kiddush. You didn't drink yet. Till later, it's way too late.
After you drink.
Yeah, but it's way too late.
Like after you put your still on.
No, but there you put on the tefillin and that's it. Anyways, very good question. Okay, now let's get back to where we are up to over here. So, what should be is that this halacha is based on the ashal in the Gemara of why is the din achechal regel min ashuk l'shiurei, or is it a din in Zman? And it's a Iboy Dulay Ifshita in the Gemara, and therefore we're machmer and we light a whole night. Okay? So that should be the halacha, that we light a whole night without making a bracha. That's what should be
The
the...
first halacha, for the first half hour, we should stop making a bracha because
Right.
it could be we're lighting, could be we're not lighting. Some
Right.
bracha, so you light or whatever.
Right, it died. I think that's what happened. Okay, so you just that's what the halacha should be. So the question is, why do we make a bracha? And to answer this question, I'm going to share with you a Mor B'Ktzia. The Mor B'Ktzia, this answer,
When there are other people around. And
nothing to do with the other people around. And this answer is found in Mikroi Kodesh from Hersh Pesach Frank. It's as follows. When a person lights the menorah, so there's always a problem. What's the problem? There's always, when you light a menorah, maybe you're lighting a candle because you need candles to see. Right? So therefore, notice when I shake my lulav, what are the options? Why am I shaking my lulav? Either you're doing a mitzvah, or you need to see a psychiatrist. There are not much options, right? There's not much that can be misconstrued. Whereas when one lights a candelabra, it could be that he's lighting to get light. So therefore, it's necessary that the person makes a statement that he's doing it to do the mitzvah. And therefore, the bracha is necessary. Because if you're going to light a menorah without a bracha,
It's the Haneiros Halalu.
oh, okay, we're going to get to there in a minute, right? You're going to light it without a bracha, then could be it's called the Loiro Tzarech. So therefore, the Mor B'Ktzia says that here, the reason why when we have a suffix, we don't make a bracha is because the bracha is dispensable. But in the case of Haneiros Chanukah, where the bracha is necessary in order for us to understand that it's a Ner Chanukah, you cannot dispense of the bracha. If you're going to say you have to light again, then you're mechuyev to say that you have to make a bracha also, and that's why we make a bracha here. Okay, did you follow that? Okay, I'm going to say it again. This is a fascinating idea. Always there are mitzvahs, and there's a bracha. Why do you make a bracha when you make a mitzvah?
The Rav just read that we have a shamash.
Yeah.
We don't need a bracha.
Okay. Why is it? Why do you always make a bracha? So the Ritva in Psachim Daf Zayin, he tells us, which mitzvahs don't you make a bracha on?
This is media.
Kiddush. Why? No Shema you do make a bracha on. Why don't you make a bracha on Kiddush? Because the bracha is the mitzvah, right? So whenever a person makes a bracha, it's just like the Chassidim is saying L'Shem Yichud Kudsha Brichu. Making a bracha says that what I'm about to do is a mitzvah, and I'm doing the Ratzon HaKadosh Baruch Hu and all that. Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvahs v'tzivan. What fascinating words, right? That's what the bracha is, and that's what? No, and none of you says you're not supposed to say it.
So you're not just like.
It's the same purpose, same purpose. Anyways, so it's the same concept.
Okay.
I didn't say whether you should
like,
say it's just like means that it does the same thing. It's the same purpose. So the bracha is what sets the stage for that which you're doing. If you don't say the bracha, you did the mitzvah. But sometimes, in the case of Haneiros Chanukah, that the act of lighting a candelabra could be understood that La'olahu Tzorech, saying the bracha gives meaning to the action of what you're doing, and therefore the bracha is a chelek of the mitzvah. In other places, this is actually a shada of Zachiezer about this, but normally we understand that there's a mitzvah and there's a bracha which is said beforehand, but they're not connected. Here, the Moaktzia says that the two are related, that you need the bracha to create the atmosphere for the mitzvah, and therefore, in a case where even it's a suffix, but if you have to light, you're mechuyev to say the bracha, because without saying a bracha, it's not called an Ner Chanukah. Okay? This is...
You know what you're doing. You know, when you light your candles, Hatziyana doesn't know why you lighting candles. You do the mitzvah. Vichtesi, when it says, after there's a man...
It has to be implicit in that what you're doing.
Has to be?
Implicit. Which means it has to lay in that what you did. Not that it's your parshanut on the side. This is not mine. This is the Moaktzia. In the Maisa. Right. So this makes it part of the Maisa, and that's why this the Moaktzia says. And this is how Rav Hirsch Pesach answers this question. Why over here do you have to make the bracha, even though we should normally say we should say some brachas lahakol, but here we're obligated to make the bracha, because otherwise it's not going to happen.
You're not yotze.
A very question. If you didn't light all night, why don't you light during the day? And it's definitely for a mitzvah. You don't need the oros, so you don't need the bracha.
But it's like what? It's like lighting, counting Sphira today. It's just not the time. It's not the time.
Why? Why is it not the time?
Because it's a mitzvah to be done at night. They gave us zman for it. It's a night mitzvah.
They gave it time for Sphira also at night.
But you can't count Sphira today, right?
I can't light Chanukah on Rosh Hashanah either, but
right.
Even at night.
Even in the day, right? Right. So that's the zman is at night. The question is how far into the night, but it's only a night mitzvah.
Or yotze if you don't make the bracha.
What?
According to the Moaktzia, yotze if you don't make the bracha.
It's not. I don't remember. He says clear if you're not yotze, but you're not mekayim the way you're supposed to be mekayim. In other words, you need the bracha to do it properly. I don't remember if he says that you're not yotze. Could be he holds you're not yotze.
Both of the brachas are needed, or won't it be enough if you've got a suffix just to say Haneiros Halalu?
That's like putting up a sign. It's either you made a bracha. The bracha is kaveya, the act that you're doing.
And what are you saying?
You said Haneiros Halalu. It's obvious you're lighting for Hanukkah.
Yeah, but there's a way Chazal were masakin how you do that.
So the both brachas have to go together like a horse and carriage. You can't separate.
Right, they can't separate them. That's exactly what it is.
Make Birkas Re'iyah after the Zman.
Machlekes. What? I'm from the anti. Not only that, on Friday night, I said over from Moshe Sternbuch, I didn't quote on Friday night who I was quoting from, that he says that you can't make a Birchas Haraya afterwards, you can't light afterwards, even people still mulling around the street, because the Birchas Haraya is only for people who didn't light and during the time. He says, it's this question that nowadays people are milling around at 1 o'clock in the morning is irrelevant, because all those people already were Yaitza. So it doesn't help. The people milling around. All the people in Beitar were lit Chanukah candles. Right. And Birchas Haraya is, and it has to be only for the people who are not Yaitza. That's how he wants to be Machiach. That's his shtickle Torah. Okay. All right. All right, we'll stop with this on this Nakuda. Just would like to. Oh, okay. So therefore, the Haneiros Halalu, this idea of what is Haneiros Halalu, go back to the original question, is a mission statement also. So this, which it says in those Mefarshim, that you make it before you light, before you say Sha'asa Nisim, is exactly what we're saying from the Moaviktzia, that this is how you make your mission statement. Now, it could be that it's not Ma'akiv, like we're saying, like for the Moaviktzia, but yeah, but its place is before you light. And that's what the Paiskim will say, that you do light one, and then you do at least before the ones of the hitter, you do it because you already lit one and you're still being Mekayim the mitzvah, so you're still in the middle of the mitzvah. Now is the time to make this statement of what you're doing. That's what Haneiros Halalu is doing.
So we light one, he's got 13 more to light, because he's lighting outside.
Yeah, I mean, and as you come to my house, I light one. After one, I start saying Haneiros Halalu as I'm lighting the other
And
ones.
then as you're walking to the next location, you're still saying Haneiros Halalu? Or?
For however long it takes me.
So that'll be a reason to light the shamash beforehand, so it doesn't get included in that.
And my shamash is lit well beforehand.
The one in the second location also is like that.
I don't light in two places. I only light in one place. But that if I was lighting in two places, I would have it lit
And you'd
both.
say, light the first candle of the 17 or whatever.
Yeah, whichever it is. Yeah.
First candle starts saying Haneiros Halalu.
Right. Now I will just say that this is only the Michtam LeDavid's psak. The other poskim seem to say, and this is totally crazy in Hilchos Shchita, but it could very well be that, let's say tonight's the seventh night, you only have to light 7, and B'nei Achshad you have to light another 7. But those 7 that you're lighting B'nei Achshad are not Chanukah candles; they're Chshad candles. So there's a machlokes on this issue. Last week I said over the Mechudishtika thing from the Michtam LeDavid, who he says that your chiyuv is. So look how we started today. I asked the question: is it 6 and 1, and now we're up to 14, right? It's basically that you have a chiyuv to light all 14 neiros.
But like everybody's saying that you should not wait till all the candles are lit for Haneiros Halalu.
No, I think the Ramon Shulchan Aruch says you make. I think you say it afterwards, just like Moaz Sur. That if you ask the person what.
The Ramah would say that.
No, yeah.
That's what he means to say when he says, don't do anything until you know.
Yeah. I don't know, but
Fudge of the Ramah,
I don't know. I think that if you look and learn the sources, the better way to do it is to say it in the as you're lighting.
Next week is Chol Hamoed.
What?
Next week we'll go back to Chol Hamoed.
Yeah.
Pretty lovely.